I have an idea for a documentary. I'm going to call it Between the Beats and Crime. It's going to follow my friend who is studying criminology, but he also DJs as a side hustle and a bit of a hobby. I find this a very interesting contrast within his life. Like on one side he studies law, order, social behaviour, that kind of stuff. And on the other side, he's at night, he's exploring the nightlife and clubs and parties and performance. So I wanted to follow him around and make a film about how he lives both his lives like this. Alright, so this documentary will follow my friend as he balances university study with learning and practicing DJing. It will show him preparing for classes, working on assignments, while also him preparing and practicing transitions, organising music, setting up equipment, and reflecting on what DJing does to him outside of study. The film will focus on the everyday reality of being a student with a creative passion on the side. It will explore the pressure of uni, the uncertainty of future careers, and maybe the need for extra money, and the confidence it will give you to perform in front of people. Now, I do have two examples that I've been following throughout my study and my planning. One is Scratch by Doug Prey. This documentary explores the early hip-hop DJing scene and, quite frankly, the invention of DJing in general, like having a deck and speakers and playing music out to a crowd for people to dance to. It's useful, I reckon, for my project because it represents a side of DJing that's serious in its artwork, and it's not just about partying or entertainment. It uses close attention to the hands and the record and the equipment and the rhythm, everything used in creating the art, as they'd say. And I also like some of the scenes it's used, such as the close-ups and the way it films people going to the set, it films people enjoying the music. I like the concept and how the film is made. The second documentary I have is a personal one that I'd really enjoy. It's called Raving Iran, and it's directed by Suzanne Regrina Mures. The film follows two Iranian DJs who try to set up events and concerts whilst dealing with the many government issues and legal risk. I believe this example is a good one for what I'm doing, as my subject is studying criminology. Now, that's not saying my friend's DJing is illegal, but the film to me shows how music, nightlife, and control and authority in public spaces. I like the connection they both have. And I think that's why it links well to my friend, because he's studying criminology. He has to learn about authority and that kind of stuff, and also creative freedom with his DJing. That's why I reckon this film links well, and it raises questions about how society regulates behaviour of youth culture and entertainment and partying and dancing and that kind of lifestyle. The main equipment for this would be the obvious ones: camera and lens, a tripod, a microphone, and basic lighting. I do want to emphasize sound, as half this film is about DJing and music, so I believe that's a very important part and something I really want to focus on. Just recording clean interview audio, strong natural audio, trying to really emphasize sound, because like I said, this documentary is about music, so I think that's one of the most important factors. The editing will be probably one of the most important factors outside of sound, as the contrast between the slow, steady pace of studying and the fast pace of DJing will be quite a lot to balance, and getting them together to work well together is going to take a lot, but it is something viable, I think. Obviously, there are going to be some ethical considerations and legal things to consider. The utmost important thing is consent. Obviously, we are going to be following my friend around and watching him study, watching him practice. So his consent is number one. Obviously, we're potentially going to parties and maybe one of his gigs. So anyone who is captured in the film is also going to need consent. Even though they are in a public space, we don't want to take advantage of them. We also got to look at copyright. Obviously, if music is being played, whilst music is allowed to be used on a DJing set and play it in a public space. Filming it is a bit more problem to that. There are ways around it. Obviously, asking for my friend's consent to use music that he makes or he transitions, and him playing non-copyrighted music. Outside of that, that's the only real ethical considerations I think we've got to look at.
So I studied criminology, but outside of uni I DJ. They seem like completely different worlds, but both are about understanding people in a way. So in criminology is like it's serious and it's structured, but with DJing it feels like the opposite. It gives me a break from thinking about assignments and my future jobs.
What is the hardest part about DJing while studying?
I'll say probably time, because studying takes a lot of time and DJing requires practicing. So I can't just show up and just press play. Yeah, I don't know if it'll like become anything serious, but right now it's something that makes me feel like I'm building something for myself.
So what you just saw right there was just a quick little example of what I'm looking for in this documentary. It's nothing final, it's just a draft. It's just what I'm envisioning for this documentary, and I believe if I focus on that, it'll work out well. So to conclude, Between Beats and Crime is, to me, a very realistic and engaging documentary because it focuses on an accessible subject who has a very clear contrast in his life. On one side, he's DJing as a hobby, a side hustle, a bit of fun, a way to express himself. And the other side, he's studying criminology. He has a path, he has an idea on what he wants to do with his life. He has a career that he really wants to do. And they're very different and they're not similar. They're not, one side's very creative, one side's very structured and direct. But he's able to combine both lives and, well, be happy.